let's go ahead and work on our pants. Now for the pants, we're gonna have the type of folds which is gonna be more of zigzag folds. So it's gonna be a lot of Z's going, lots of Z's. And around this area, the crotch area, you're going to see some stretching of the pants here because our legs here are kind of course, separated, which kind of creates that. And you see that in every pants. It could be very, very subtle or a little very more noticeable. And let's look at the back part. All right, so same here. We're gonna have a few zigzag folds. Most of the zigzag folds, you're gonna see it around the middle of the legs here, and also the bottom part where it gets a little crunched in with the shoe area. And you're going to see some folds right around the bottom of the butt area. Of course, if your guy has a little bit more booty, then there's going to be less folds that you're going to see in this area. Okay, so keep that in mind. And this is I think it's the back part right here also. So you can see that there's like some zigzag folds, mainly at the back of the leg, in the middle of the legs here where our knees bend. And also there's going to be some zigzag folds here, and then where the legs meet, we're gonna see some more of the folds there also. So keep that in mind as we are doing the pants here. I'm gonna go select my pants area and I'm gonna go sculpt mode. Now I'm using my grab brush. I think I want to kind of shape this out a little bit further, just thinking of the basic shape down. So I think that I could make this not so thick, something like that. Yep. And looking at the side view, I could kind of push this in, that. Okay, I'm gonna go to my inflate and inflate this. Smooth it. And you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and pull that out. Could be that I think it's too thick, my calves. So I'm gonna select the body of my character. I'm gonna go to my sculpt mode. I'm gonna go to my grab brush and slightly just kind of push this in. There you go. Okay, now I think around this area, go to my sculpt mode and see if I push that in. Okay, I could go back on the body, and if I need to, I think I could just go to sculpt mode for the body area and push this back in. Alright, and back onto the pants. I'm gonna go to sculpt mode. And I'm gonna, when I start to add the folds, I want to add some more geometry. So I'm gonna bring the voxel size down to 0.06 to begin with. I could bring it down a little lower later. Okay, so that is fine. So now on to sculpting. I'm gonna go to my draw brush. And I'm gonna turn off my symmetry. And I think I want to start out with just indicating here where the zipper is gonna be. I'm gonna hold control, and just gonna pull it down like this. Hold control using the draw sharp, so kind of indicating where we are going to have the zipper area. And go my scrape brush and scrape that. And I think I could use more geometry. I'm gonna set this to 0.05 and just remesh that. Alright, that's better. Okay. And I'm gonna go to my sculpt draw. And draw this out. Add some folds here. For the pants, I could definitely make it look like it has thicker folds than the Henley shirt. Okay, and that's fine. For thicker folds, I do like to use the draw brush. For thinner folds, I like to use the draw sharp. I'm going to use a combination of both the draw brush and the draw sharp brush for this. So remember, you could carve it in and then later you could push it out. So you see what I've done here. There's going to be areas that's going to be protruded out, which is you just sculpt it. And then there's going to be some areas where you have to push in the clay. And then later you could go and smooth out the ends of the folds to make it all blend in. I'm going to bring down the smoothing for my smoothing brush and then smooth it. Alright, and yeah, I'm going to go back. And you can see how there's this sharp depth right there, and this is the point where you kind of have to blend this in with the pants, where you're gonna have to smooth out that area. So I'm gonna go and smooth it. It just kind of blends it all in with the pants. Don't be afraid to smooth it. Okay, and I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my symmetry. And I'm gonna do the bottom part here. For this one, I'm gonna use my draw sharp. I'm gonna go ahead and just carve this in, hold control, push it out, push this in, and push this in area right there. Push this area in, so we're gonna have like a nice silhouette that we see on the side. Push this in right here. Hold control, push this out. So you can see I am definitely thinking of the zigzags as I am doing this. So we have pretty nice zigzags, sometimes even look like diamonds, okay? Yeah, the beginning right now it's just gonna look like it's symmetrical, but I'm gonna go back to this and make it look asymmetrical. So turning on symmetry at the beginning is fine, and yeah, later on you don't have to make it symmetrical. Of course, we're not gonna make it symmetrical because no jeans is 100% symmetrical. And I'm gonna go to my object mode, Shift H. I'm gonna go to sculpt mode. And I'm gonna go ahead and just scrape this area out to just make it sharper, like that. Sharper. Alright, I'm gonna show everything again. Okay, cool. And I'm gonna go back to sculpt mode, draw sharp, and yeah, push this in. I'm gonna go ahead and yeah, push this in like that. Push this in like this. Push this in, push that in, then we could have nice hold right there, hold control, and then just add a little depth here. Smooth it, and I'm gonna go ahead and push this in and smooth it. So just by doing that, we get a very good looking silhouette going on here. Okay, so it's not just straight the pants, we have a beautiful shape going for the bottom part there. So around this area, you tend to get a lot of folds around this area of the jeans because, or the pants, because we are going to have shoes here, right? And if you have shoes on, especially boots, like high boots, this pants will tend to go up. And when you wear boots and you lift your jeans up like that, of course you're gonna start to have folds around this area, right? So that's the point of that. So yeah, right now just focusing on the folds here, and we could add a little break up here and here. Push this in and then very nice, and smooth it. You could also go to our clay strip brush and add a little clay here to kind of blend it all in, and then smooth it to blend it. And we could also go ahead and think about the knee area. Of course, we're gonna have some folds around the knee area. And once again, just thinking of the zigzagging. I'm gonna go ahead and push this in. Okay, I'm gonna push this in. Hold control, push it out. Push this out like that. This. Push this in. And like this. Push this in and smooth it. And kind of bring it slightly down here and just kind of smooth it. And maybe I could add a little subtle fold here. Push this in like that. And kind of looking in this direction. We kind of want to have the fold. We don't want to abruptly just stop it here. We want to have a little bit of fold here, and then we could kind of have it come down like this. Hold control. And like this here. So it goes all the way down here like that. So we could kind of show up even at the back and a little bit on the side. And we don't want it to just kind of fade out the fold, so we could have some subtle folds as it goes up to the top of the legs. We could have some subtle folds going, not as much folds, but we still don't want it to be just like plain. So we want to have somewhat of a fold here and here and smooth it. And then we could start to do the back. You see the back there's really nothing going on, of course. I like to do first is I'm gonna turn off my symmetry and carve this in right here, so there's a little division. Hold control and kind of push it out and smooth it. You could also go to the scrape brush and scrape this slightly, kind of flatten things out. And we could also kind of indicate, I'm going to turn on symmetry, kind of indicate the pocket region. So I could go to my draw sharp and hold control and just kind of indicate the pocket here. We're going to do a little bit more with the pocket later, but it's good to have something there, right? A little something there. And yeah, you could go ahead and start to add some more folds around this area. There you go. And this is going to go this way. I'm going to crank up my smoothing slightly so I could smooth it a little better. And this is really kind of bothering me already, how it's too symmetrical. So I'm going to turn this off, the symmetry. And I'm going to go ahead and crank up my smoothing, smooth that out. And I'm going to go to my draw sharp and add some folds here that doesn't look like the one that we have in the other side here. That, and I'm gonna bring down my smoothing, smooth that. So really most of the time right now I am definitely just using the draw, mostly the draw sharp to carve in the folds here that I see, right? And add some folds around this area and just kind of smooth it. And then the most folds that we're going to see is around the back here in the middle where our knees bend. I'm going to turn on symmetry for this one. Yeah, for this, you could think about some zigzag folds going. Or you could even think of the letter Y as you do this. So thinking of you could think of the letter Y. You could also think of diamond shapes. Right? You could think of zigzagging. So lots of variety of shape that you could implement here as you are doing the folds. So, but those are basically the three shapes that I think of as I am doing the folds. Thinking of letter Y, diamond shape. So the main folds that I go for and think of. Go, and I'm gonna turn off my symmetry, and maybe you could add some variance here. So maybe here, maybe there's going to be a fold that's a little more together. There you go. So you could see just a little bit of difference here. You could see that it makes it a lot better if you give a symmetrical look to it, where everything is just not the same. I think doing folds is so much fun. It's like, it's relieves stress. I think the most important part, one of the most important parts of doing character, first of all, is going to be the anatomy, making sure that you do the anatomy right. And then the second most important is going to be the cut. Okay, so those are the two main things that you really have to master when doing characters. And if yours doesn't look like mine at the beginning, that's okay. If this is like your first or second try of doing characters, I've done a lot of characters and I had a lot of experience with this. So you guys might have to do 6, 7, 8, or 10 more characters before you create a really good one, you know? Okay, so now also at the bottom part of the leg is where we're going to see a whole lot of folds here also. So turn on symmetry for this, and I'm going to go ahead and create this one huge fold, and maybe think of a diamond shape here. Diamond shape going like this, and around this here, and maybe kind of have it do this and push this in, push this in right here, smooth it, and I could add some more variety of the folds here. I'm going to turn off symmetry so it doesn't look exactly the same. I could go ahead and do this and push this, smooth that out, push this in, push this area in, smooth it, maybe around here. Could add some more diamond shape kind of thing going on here, and then push this in. I'm gonna go ahead and remesh this. I'm gonna go ahead and bring this down to a lower value, 0.045, and I'm gonna go ahead and remesh that. Go. Grab at my symmetry. Here you go. Push this in, add some more, push this area in and smooth it, and smooth this area. Area in, smooth that out. We could go to the clay strip brush, could add a little bit of volume around this area, smooth it, draw sharp, carve this in, and do a little something like this. So we got an interesting shape here that looks different from this here. Good, go ahead and use a clay scrape brush and scrape that. Push this in so we have a little bit more difference. Clay strip. Go. You can see it definitely looks different from this side. Maybe I could make it look more different by adding a bit more folds here and there and smooth it. And it looks a little bubbly around this area. I'm going to use my clay strip brush, my scrape brush to flatten this out. It looks a little bubbly. We want to look like it's kind of sharpened around this area. Uh-oh. Well, I could also do it here. Go. There you go. Very nice. Now, of course, on the front here, it looks too symmetrical. So I'm definitely going to go back and make it asymmetrical. I'm going to go to my draw sharp. And what I could do is I could go ahead and I'm going to go to my smoothing. And I think I'm going to go ahead and just smooth it. Something like that. That way I know it's not really looking exactly the same at all. Alright, yeah, I'm going to smooth that out. Like this. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my draw sharp. And I'm going to go ahead and bring down my intensity. So maybe I can have something like this and then kind of loops down like that. Like this. Like that. So, and then I could kind of do this. Push this area in. Push this in and smooth it. Then we have a little shape going. Kind of looks like going this way. And I'm gonna go and kind of bring it down like this and smooth it. That. We have a little Y shape going like this. Y shape. That. And then push that in. And do this here. Push this in. The Y shape is going to go all the way, maybe up to here, this area, and up to here. And push this in. We got a nice silhouette going around that area. Okay. Push this area in, like that. And push this in. This here. And add the indication of the seams of the pants. And I think around this area it might be too thick, deep folds, so I'm gonna push this in. We don't want really thick folds, but at the same time we don't want thin folds either, because these are jeans, these are pants, cargo pants, so it's gonna be different from the Henley shirt. But yeah, at the same time, you do want it not to look like leather or anything like that. You want it to still have that somewhat a sharp feel to the folds. Alright. And I think we could definitely do more on the side. So for the side of the pants, we could add a seam. I'm going to turn on symmetry here. Add like some indication of the seams. Gonna crank up my intensity. So maybe right around this area. There you go. Somewhat of a seam here. Full control. So yeah, indication of the seam like this. Could kind of remesh this. You can see there's a seam right there. Right? And I think we could kind of indicate more of the folds. I'm going to bring down my intensity, push this in, and maybe around this area we could have some indication of around the area where there's like seams. There's tend to be minor folds like this going. Like this, minor folds like that. Same thing here. Gonna do slight folds around the seam area. I think the inner part, I could make them symmetrical. It's fine. Like that. Alright, so we got a nice shape going there. And I also want to do the side part here, so I could add indication of a seam here going. This and up to here, like that. Alright. And around there we could indicate some folds to make it look more realistic. So really on the side part, I could make it symmetrical, which is fine. It's not going to really look strange because you're not looking in the front. In the front, you really have to make sure that it's not 100% symmetrical, because you're looking at both front, the left and the right side and the front. You could see both with your eyes, and you could really see that it's not gonna look good if they look too symmetrical. But yeah, in the front, you could, in the side here, right all the way to the side, you could actually get away with it without having any issues. I'm gonna bring down the intensity for my smoothing and smooth that out. Push this in, hold control, there you go. Right, and we could actually add some pockets because they are cargo pants. So let's not forget the pockets. And I think that we could do all that in the next video. I'll see you then.